Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler. Just screaming through it. This week in the news, we've got some updates on the PlayStation physical media death. Xbox had a round of layoffs, and Dune had a new trailer. But Skyler, of course, before we talk about all of that, what's been going on with you this week?
I accomplished some things that I set out to do. I caught up on House of the Dragon. I previously mentioned that I was rewatching seasons 1 and 2 in the little spare time I've had lately, but I did do it, and I watched the new episodes of season 3. Hey, it's back, House of the Dragon. Season 1, really good. I think I said that last time.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, not bad. Season 3 so far also not bad, unless you're a supporter of certain characters and actors that play characters, in which case you might be having a really bad time.
Yeah, we got some bodies going.
Yeah.
But the guy who I was afraid of in the first episode that might have been dead was not dead, so it all worked out for me. We're doing all right.
Again, yes.
We're doing all right.
I think I said out loud during like the most recent episode, I'm like, I'm only rooting for one guy right now.
I'm still rooting for a couple of people. Well, I'm only rooting for one guy, I guess. Yeah. But there's a couple other ladies that I'm definitely rooting for.
Sure.
Although one of them recently had a whole ass heel turn that I was not expecting, and probably not the character that you're thinking of. But I won't spoil her. I won't spoil it.
So other than House of the Dragon, I also watched the final season of The Bear.
Oh, it's like done?
It is done. The Bear is done. And also, The Bear is really good. Really good television show that I wholeheartedly enjoyed from start to finish. And the television special that they like shadow dropped a couple months ago. It's all very good. I like it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I need to start watching that at some point.
You know, so often when big popular shows that earn lots of Emmys and award nominations, when they get that final season, a lot of people throw a bitch fit because some of those final seasons are bad. But again, some shows just end and people are mad that it ended. This one, I don't think I've been as we'll say satisfied with an ending of a show since Breaking Bad. Now, I'm not gonna hold The Bear to Breaking Bad standards, but that's what I think of. Just like it had a really good ending, and hey, The Bear had a really good ending. Cool. All right, here's something else.
Yeah.
So you know the social media website Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not using that anymore.
Okay.
On account of it hit me with like a hey, you're accessing Blue Sky from a region that legally requires you to verify your age. So in order to do that, go ahead and send us a picture of your ID or like the last digits of your social or and the kicker was or a credit card. And I'm like, "No. We're done. I'm just done with Blue Sky." So at the end of the episode when you're like, "You can follow me on," I'm just going to stay absolutely silent cuz you can't follow me anywhere.
Yeah, Texas is pretty bad about all of that. You'll notice, of course, that similarly functional social media platform Twitter has not required that because...
Yeah, but I'm not going back to Twitter.
Well, I'm not saying it as a positive. The reason that Twitter doesn't have to do that is because they don't have to follow the law.
We don't need social media, to be honest. So just taking this as a sign was like, all right, we're done.
I suppose so. This week for me has been pretty fun, I guess. I started playing Pokemon Legends EA. That's probably the biggest singular thing. I mean, I've been keeping up with House of the Dragon. I've been keeping up with a couple of things. But started Pokemon Legends EA. That's a real good game. I think I like that one a lot. It's definitely like way better than Legends Arceus. Not just in terms of performance, which is like obvious because Arceus performed terribly. Like you would see a bird in the distance flapping at 2 frames a minute. You'd be like, "Oh, great, cool, yeah, we did everything in our power on that one, huh?" Whereas this one, granted, less open world. It's just a city instead of like a bunch of different big ass open landscapes. But runs really well. Has so far a pretty good story of like fighting through this tier system of deciding who's the best trainer in the area. Some really cool characters. I've always been a fan of the Kalos games X and Y, and so just like going back there and hanging out with not the same characters, but like similar archetypes of those characters return.
Hmm.
And then obviously like all the Kalos Pokemon are still around. And I think that was a really good dex. So it's been pretty cool. They do a great job of like feeding you new Pokemon in a way that makes them feel more than just like random encounters, where you'll get like these little side quests and it'll be like, hey, this Pokemon needs you to do something for it. And then when you finish that quest, the Pokemon will be like, hey, can we hang out? And then you get that Pokemon. And it's just like this nice little cute, because a lot of them are Pokemon that you can't just catch in the wild. So it's this nice little
Hmm.
way of being like, oh, like this isn't just something I tripped over in a bunch of tall grass. It's like a real, it's like a character almost. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. I think that's really smart for the type of game it is. I don't know that they can do that in like the mainline series necessarily. Like I wouldn't expect Winds and Waves to do that, but it's cool that they're able to do stuff like that in the spin-off ones like Legends. I think that that's a really interesting like evolution, pun intended, of the system.
Hmm.
I also was enjoying the third episode of the Reckless Ben Bricks and Minifigs documentary series that came out like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, because he was finally able to post it because the his lawyer got the case moved in such a way that the gag order that was put on him was no longer like legal. So
Right.
they got it removed, so he's able to actually like post things again. Because for some reason, the Bricks and Minifigs people, like, it seems like their number one concern, more so than like getting any kind of money or getting Ben put in jail or whatever, is just to get all of his like content taken down from the internet.
Hmm.
That seems to be their number one goal, is just to like banish this man's entire career to the shadow realm. And so it's really cool to see them completely fucking fail on that front. And it being moved out of local Utah courts where everyone's just like a good old boy protecting their own guys, which is what basically the third video was about,
Hmm.
is gonna. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that he'll win, but it makes it a hell of a lot more likely.
Sure.
Plus, I mean, he has so much evidence that, like, literally, that some of the best lawyers in the country were like, "Yeah, man, I'll do that for free because I would love to have on my resume." Took down like $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company.
Hmm.
That's always a cool thing to have on there, and I can't wait. He ends the most recent one with like this, frankly, a threat to Bricks and Minifigs of like, they want to take this to court, and that's all cool. And now that I don't have a gag order, I can post a video every week while this court case is going on for potentially up to the next 2 years. So that's like 150 videos that are all
Hmm.
getting multi-million views. And he's only put out three, and the Bricks and Minifigs brand is already in the shitter. So I'm sure you'll get diminishing returns just by merits of less and less people like caring enough. Like,
Sure.
everyone's already knows now that Bricks and Minifigs is evil. I don't know how many new people you're reaching, but it is just a fun little threat to throw in at the end. I also re-upped my Survivor application. That was pretty cool.
Ooh.
So I don't
Fingers
know which
crossed.
one. Yeah, I don't know which one they would be casting for next. I know the last one that they said they were casting for was at the same time they were casting 51 and 52, but 51 is already done filming, and I don't know when 52 films, but it may have already started. So, because that one will air like beginning of next year. So they may have already started filming that one. Either way, they're probably
Hmm.
already cast on that. So I feel like the earliest I could possibly get cast at this point is like 53. But I don't know. I wouldn't even necessarily expect that. I'm sure it'll be way way later. I'll get on. I'll get on season 63. It'll be cool, and of course I'll win, and it'll be the coolest thing ever. And then the last thing I did this week, I actually did today, because I had a little bit of extra time today because you didn't get off work until later than usual.
Yes.
I had been talking to somebody on Facebook Marketplace about buying a GameCube because I've never had one,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and I've had it on my like to buy list for a really long time. It's been on my Christmas list for years, and I never like actually
Hmm.
expected anyone in my family to buy one for me because frankly, I don't know that they would know where to get one
Right.
other than like maybe Amazon, and I don't know that they would do that. But it's not expensive. This guy on Facebook Marketplace was trying to sell it for $50, and then I talked him down to 40, and then I just bought a
Hmm.
different one
Oh, okay.
because he was selling one of the silver ones, but it was really cheap because he didn't have anything else for it. Like he didn't have the cords, he didn't have a controller, and so I was like, okay, like I can probably pick up
Oh,
those extra bits at like Found It or whatever. Like there's local stores where I'm sure I
yeah.
can get those things
Look,
for like
local retro game store. Yeah.
relatively cheap. I think I looked it up and controllers were like $20 or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
but then I was like, okay, well if I add two controllers and however much the cords cost, like now we're already up to like 100 some odd dollars, and it's already sketchy because the guy's like, I wasn't able to test it, so I don't know if it works. So I was like, fuck it.
What do you mean you're not able to test
We
it?
didn't have the cords. How is he
Oh,
gonna?
I guess that's a good point.
So the other day when I was in GameStop, I saw that they had just a GameCube sitting in the box, sitting in their like glass case, and I was like,
Yeah.
and they were selling it for like 150 or whatever, and I was like, I think that's probably worth it. Like that's probably a little bit of an upcharge, but it comes with a 2-year warranty where if it ends up being broken, unlike some guy on Facebook Marketplace, I can take it back and get a replacement. And it comes with a controller and all the cords, which is nice.
Is this, I'm assuming, without doxing exactly where we live, I'm assuming that it's the same GameStop that's equidistant between where you and I live?
Yeah, I mean
The
we live
one,
like really close to each other, so yeah. Yeah.
but the closest one to us. Yeah, interesting that you say this and this happened because one of the consoles that I've been on the lookout for a while for, that I've never owned one, was PlayStation 1.
Oh
And
yeah.
friend of mine, friend of ours, Steven, went to that GameStop and was like, they're selling one for $60. And I went the next day and
Yeah.
I got one.
Just go ahead and buy it.
So,
$60 is pretty cheap, but I guess like
s-
there's probably not a lot of draw for a PS1 because why would you not just get a PS2? Because
yeah,
like it
because the
can play
PS2
everything.
can, yeah, of course.
So I mean, obviously you want
Uh,
one as a collector piece, but you know,
yeah, I have a shelf with all of my retired consoles, and so I now have PlayStations 1, 2, 3, and 4 all on a shelf together, and $60 for the console, a controller, and the cords that you need to actually use it should you
yeah,
want to.
you wouldn't have
So,
thought that that was a big plus, but turns out if you go to the
yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
Marketplace, it is actually.
No, absolutely. I GameStop, if they have to pivot to retro resale,
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
they've definitely put a lot more retro stuff in there in the last like 6 months, which I've been really pro that. And they've also
Hmm.
pivoted a lot towards like cards, which I think is also a good idea because that shit's flying
Yeah,
off
it's
the
just
shelves.
smart. That's
They can't
really
even
big
hold
right
on to
now.
One Piece stuff. Like I was talking to one of the guys there who's a One Piece player, and
Yeah.
he was like, I was like, why don't you ever have One Piece stuff? And he's like, we get it, like we get a lot of it, but it's just gone immediately. I was
Hmm.
like, oh shit, well, I mean, good for you guys, I guess, but it doesn't really help
Hmm.
me. But I got two games with the GameCube,
Oh, what'd you get?
which were the only two GameCube games they had in the store, which is why I have the ones that I bought because I want to actually, see if it works before the warranty goes out. And I don't
Yeah.
know if other people are like retro collectors or whatever. I don't know if anyone's else has noticed how rare it is for some fucking reason to have like any retro store have a decent number of GameCube games in them. Like you go to a
Hmm.
movie trading company, they've got like six. You're like, oh, okay, cool, great, thanks.
Yeah. I think it's just because people don't trade them in.
I
They
guess
just keep
not.
them.
Yeah, I almost
Um.
there's part of me also that wonders because the GameCube discs are so small. Of like, did people just
Yeah.
lose this shit?
They ate
What are
them.
the odds?
Yeah.
Um, so I ended up getting
Well, game. Yeah. What'd you get?
Final Fantasy: The Crystal Chronicles, which I've never played and I don't think is good,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
it's a Final Fantasy game, so that's something. It's got to count for something. And then the other one that they had, which I only picked up because it was the only other one that was there, and also it was like $5, is the Finding Nemo video game.
Nice.
So,
Nice. I had one of those for the Game Boy, not the GameCube.
so
Well, the good news is my GameCube disc library is a little bit more vast. So if you ever need
More
to
than more
borrow
than
and
two?
play you need to borrow and play like Pikmin 1 or Luigi's
Right.
Mansion, I got you covered. I mean, I'm sure that's all on the Switch
Yeah.
online anyways,
I think
but you know,
I don't know if Pikmin is actually, but I think Luigi's Mansion is. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's the GameCube library on NSO is very small right now. I think it's 5 games, but some
Yeah.
of them are on there twice because they put the American version and the EU version for some reason.
Yeah, cuz we need that differentiation.
I don't know what difference it makes. It's probably just different translations, but genuinely, I think that they put them
Well,
both just to make the library look fuller.
the EU one, every once in a while a translated sentence will end in it
In it,
or bruv.
Mario, we've got to save the princess, isn't it?
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Bruv, how am I gonna get these Pikmin onto me spaceship? This is what they sound like to
That's
me.
right. That is Will Ospreay playing
As a,
playing Pikmin 1.
as a Scottish person, I of course have to hate the English, I guess, which is why I was rooting for Mexico in that game that I didn't watch, but Mexico did lose.
Well, they lost.
Yeah. Well, but then one of
But
the English guys jumped a barricade and snapped his fucking arm in half.
and now we're going against the Vikings, who are unfortunately very fucking cool.
The Norwegian people. Yeah, I keep seeing memes
Yeah,
posted of that one guy who looks like if Brock Lesnar was a vegan.
Holland. Yeah,
Yeah, he's gross to me. I'm
he's
sure
a
he's good at sport, but
he's we need to stop him tomorrow.
who's
That's when the
we? Why
game's
you keep
happening
saying we?
tomorrow. Because I'm on the team, Daniel.
Oh, okay. I thought you were including me, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm not on the team.
I got my kit right here.
I thought we were having a Dr. Phil or not Dr. Phil, Uncle Phil situation.
We?
We.
Yeah, no, I understand the reference.
Thank you. Let's get into the news. Here's the first and probably coolest thing on the list here is we've got the newest trailer for Dune Part 3. Hey yo, we'll probably get another one before launch because
boy.
doesn't it not come out until like a holiday? Because
It's
it's
a
like at the
December
same
movie, I
time.
believe.
Yeah, because it's the same time as
It's
Doomsday.
same day.
Yeah, one of them's
Avengers
probably gonna move.
Doomsday. They both said no. They said we're gonna do it.
We're gonna Dune it. They're playing chicken. It would be smarter for one of them to move, and it should probably be Doomsday, honestly. But yeah, okay. So this trailer is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Paul is looking more evil than any human being has ever looked ever, because
he lost a hair versus hair match.
He's bald and he's got the like you made the bad choices in a KOTOR skin condition going on under his eyes.
Yeah, he's got the renegade aura going.
He's got some bad shit going on with him, which I do wonder how that's gonna vibe with some of the fan base, because I do know that even somehow through the end of the second movie, people still thought he was the good guy. So I guess we'll see how the third one goes.
Media literacy is something that gets brought up a lot these days.
Yeah, well, I guess to be fair, he doesn't actually like turn evil until the last like 20 minutes of that movie.
So you think they fell asleep?
I mean, maybe. They were probably he turns evil right at the end, and then there's also a big action scene that just probably blew all the thought out of their head. So they were like, wow.
They had to refill their Shai Hulud popcorn bucket
with their penis. Zendaya is in it and looking very angry and very pregnant. I don't remember her character's name.
Chaney or Chani.
Chaney.
One of the no. He's dead, right? He died.
Dick Cheney, yes? I think so.
He's gone. Surely he's gone.
He's gone from
I don't remember
the public space minimally, and he's probably gone from the living space, if I had to guess.
Living spaces?
The living spaces.
The store?
Yes. He's not allowed in there anymore. Not since the Vietnam situation.
He died last year, November of last year, as of recording.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Duncan. Yeah,
he died in the first movie.
He died in the first movie and then was not in the second movie, and now he's just in the trailer, which is crazy. Like, that's fully just a spoiler. But whatever.
I think they're shockingly enough they're doing the thing where they're like, we probably read it, and I feel like most people haven't.
No, almost no. I would hazard that almost nobody has, and if they have, they haven't read that far.
Dune Messiah. It's the second book.
Yeah, but the first book thick.
with 2 C's.
We got some shots of the Fremen on the beach. They're gonna be really confused by how much water there is. They're gonna be like, Paul is God. Clearly, look how much water there is here on this planet, which might be the
Cool.
planet he's from, but it's hard to tell. And then in what is the part of the trailer that most people are talking about afterwards, this movie's newest and most evil pale ass white guy is like, you know what we should do? Regime change.
Mm-hmm.
Which will apparently get him and Florence Pugh murdered. I guess. I don't know.
We got Robert Pattinson looking like a real Robert Rattinson.
I honestly didn't even recognize that as Robert Pattinson, to be honest with you. I didn't know that was him. Is that him?
That's Batman or
He,
Mickey 17
he
or
looks like
Edward,
the guy
if you're
from
nasty.
Blade Runner.
Jared Leto?
No, obviously not.
Rutger Hauer.
Sure, yeah, the Dudes in the Rain android. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for this movie. Although I do think it's probably got sort of an uphill climb for it, because I do know that this is the part of the story where everything starts getting like really complicated and weird. And I feel like while I really like the first two movies, they don't really do a great job of explaining what's happening at any given point.
It was already complicated and weird.
Yeah.
And we're gonna double down.
Like,
yeah.
My number one and kind of only negative for the first two movies is just how fucking fast we're just sprinting through shit with like no time to explain. Big worm now. What? I can't explain. I'm God. Bye. I'm talking to my baby ghost or whatever. Sure.
His Anya Taylor-Joy, who is also here.
I drank the worm piss and now I'm evil. We gotta go.
Worm piss will do it to you. All right, everyone be careful out there.
That's how you get the brain worm, like RFK.
He drank like a red worm piss. Paul drank the blue worm piss.
Well, so
which doesn't make him any less evil.
No, he's
a different kind of evil.
He's gonna do galactic genocide. It's not gonna be a good look for him.
It's good. Well, you know what? Maybe it's like the horseshoe thing, where it's just like the further you get away, the more similar we become in the end. So yeah, evil is evil, turns out.
Yeah, I just assume that RFK, he got his worm piss from like a road-killed one, and maybe after like they're dead for a while, it turns red. Like that would make sense. I could see that.
I bought my worm piss on the internet.
Like, you know that thing that people used to say and then turned out to not be true, that like blood is blue inside your body and then red because it gets oxygen? Same thing.
I like this lore that we're inventing for a real psychopath.
Yeah. RFK Atreides.
He's a Harkonnen.
Yeah, maybe. But he's not pale enough. With the exception of the big fat one, the Harkonnens have been capable. You know what I mean? Like, they've done things.
Baron Harkonnen can fly around.
That's
plenty capable. That's all the capability he needs.
They never explained that, and I didn't really need them to, but I was so fucking confused when that.
You should watch the original, because he still flies around in that, and it's crazier.
I have the original on VHS, actually.
VHS?
Yeah.
All right. We're booting it up. Pull out the VCR. Kids today don't even know what that is.
The CRT I have has a VHS player on the bottom, and it's at this point the only part of that CRT that still works.
Not the screen?
Well, the screen, yes, but I can't switch inputs.
I was going to say, how do you know if it's playing if you can't turn on the screen?
Well, I'm very good at machines.
You're just playing computers. A GameCube with no cords on a TV, on a TV
with no screen. Yeah. No, it's that's actually, I ended up finding that GameCube on Facebook Marketplace that I ended up not buying because I was looking for a CRT, because I want one that like fully functions. But I actually think at this point I might just try and find like a universal remote to do that, because the TV seemingly works fine. I just can't change inputs, and I do like that TV.
I've got a CRT that works, that's just sitting here collecting dust. If you want to help me lug it up those fucking stairs you got, then maybe we can.
I could just have that.
No, probably not. But,
okay, well, what the fuck? Why are you offering? You're gonna make me carry it all the way up the stairs and then what? Back to your car in 2 hours?
Yeah. Bring it back down.
No, absolutely not.
Well, then I don't know what you want, Daniel. Some people are too hard to please.
Okay. Hey, we got one more piece of good news, and then it's gonna turn
Ooh.
confusing and or bad.
Ooh.
But we got some news for the Persona game franchise. Two little pieces that'll become one news story. First off, Netflix is trying to do a live action Persona 5 show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I did write down as Persona 5, and then when I was talking about it to somebody else, they were like, did it say Persona 5? I thought it just said Persona. I was pretty sure it said Persona 5 and have not looked it up since that conversation. So it might just be a Persona show, but I was pretty sure it was 5. Either way, I don't think it'll be very good.
You know, when it comes to Netflix adapting anime or some sort of anime adjacent property into a live action show, I was gonna say it's a crapshoot, but there's really only been the one good one, huh?
Yeah, it's
Right?
pretty much just been One Piece. And honestly, I think
Because
that's a fluke.
because season 2 of that Airbender show came out, of which I watched season 1 with some friends, and I was like,
Right.
"This, I'm not doing this anymore. We're
And
done."
also, like,
And
notably
then
not an anime.
season, well, no, but that's what I
I just needed
adjacent
to get
is
out. We were
close.
gonna get yelled at.
You're right, and we still will, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk about it. It came out, and apparently, it got worse. I don't know how, but apparently it's not good.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched a single second of that. I think when the trailer for the second season came out, my reaction was I didn't know the first season had already happened. We're not doing great on the me knowing what's happening in Netflix
I
part of the
mean,
world.
the Cowboy Bebop show is not good.
No,
I don't think
wouldn't have thought it was.
that's a hot take.
You know, I've never actually
Um,
watched Cowboy Bebop like in order. Like I've seen every episode just randomly on
oh,
Toonami, but I've never sat down and like watched the show.
I don't think for the most part until like you get towards the end that the order really matters. I
Probably
mean, the
not.
first episode is the first episode, and the last episode is the last episode, and with the exception of near the end when like Ed leaves, that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you.
What a
If
good,
there were
what a
some
good,
connecting tissues, I would have missed them probably.
what a good fucking anime that is. By the way, can I just say another ice cold take? Cowboy Bebop is good.
Cowboy Bebop doing all right. In other Persona news, the Persona 4 revival that comes out later this year, I believe, uh,
Mm,
have announced that their cutscenes are going to be worked on by Studio Mappa, who's a real ass anime studio who does most notably like really great action. They're known
mm,
for like Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen,
mm-hmm.
third one, Chainsaw Man. Yeah. So a lot of
Oh,
those
okay.
types. So those cutscenes are going to be real good. At the same time, I am kind of like, how? Like, how did this happen? Did they reach out and they're like, we would like, because Persona 4, I think, is the first one that like really started taking off. 3 was the first really good one. 4 was the one that like started bringing it into the consciousness. Like, Persona 4 was the first one that I think got sort of cult classic sort of appeal. And then Persona 5 really took it off to a whole new level where all of a sudden everyone knows what Persona is and it's like winning awards and shit. So I am like maybe Mappa maybe like volunteered for it, but also like famously Mappa is just busy as hell. Like they are like, please can we please have a break between seasons of shows, and they're like, no, work. Like,
Make make a video game.
make more
Okay.
art. Yeah. And unfortunately they're really good, so I don't want them to
Imagine
stop.
imagine you're notoriously in one of the most like hardworking and overworked businesses in the world. You're like, oh god, could it get any worse? And then you just like a shift in the universe happens and now you're somehow in the video game space. You're
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah. I guess they're not
Oh
actually
god.
like I guess they're not actually in the video, like they're not
No,
actually
not
working
really.
for a video
Not
game
really.
studio. So they get to avoid the bloodshed for a little while at least.
Maybe. We don't know.
Although to be fair, the Japanese companies, with the exception of Sony, are doing a lot fucking better. Like Nintendo, Capcom, and Sega are all frankly crushing it. I think all three of those companies have raised their employees' salaries instead of
We
laying them
love
off. And I
we
just
love to
and
see
I just
that.
want to point at those companies and be like, why can't everyone else be like this? Just like why can't it, just go to Xbox? Why can't you be like your brother?
Because profit margins
Yeah.
uh
Well, Capcom's hitting their fucking profit margins.
that's why everybody gets a pizza party.
Yay! If you collect 32 good noodle stars for your Resident Evil games, then you get one pizza party.
Mhm. If you 100% all the achievements or trophies in Resident Evil 9, Capcom will mail you a pizza.
Yeah, hell yeah. I think I'm pretty close. I'm about to get that pizza.
But it does come from Japan,
Ain't nothing wrong with
so
some cold pizza.
it's gonna be green by the time it gets to us.
That's fine. Hey, okay, let's get in. Speaking of the bad situations in the video game space,
Yeah, speaking about green moldy pizza.
the first little bit of bad video game news that we got here is, hey, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resynced came out the other day. Yay. And it reviewed really
Oh,
well.
oh,
Yay. But it's actually not running very well. And a lot of people are complaining about all the bugs that are constant in that game. So,
oh.
uh-oh. And then also, on the day that it was released, Ubisoft laid off 51 people, the majority of which were on the Resync team. So
This,
they were like, your job here's done. Get out.
you are done. You are done. All right, go on, get out of here, you butchers.
So that really
Um,
sucks, obviously.
yeah, when you're in the video game industry, the worst thing you can do career-wise is finish your game.
Yes. Yeah. If you're currently working on a game, they will keep you around for long enough to finish the game most of the time.
Do you think that's why live service keeps getting pitched?
No,
So
live
it's
service,
like you can't
maybe.
fire us if we have to stay and do stuff.
Yes and no. I don't think I mean, yes, you constantly need them to just feed the fucking beast that is Fortnite or whatever.
Hmm.
It's historically, at least recently in the last 2 or 3 years, that has not saved them from layoffs. Just look at Bungie, or I mean, Epic even had a huge round of layoffs from the Fortnite
Of
team,
course.
what, 3 months ago? Like a lot. Like it was, I remember we saw the number. It was, I don't remember it now, and I don't want to be wrong, but I believe it was like 500 or 600. And we were like, how the fuck are there? Because they said that, and then they were like, it's like 20% of the team or whatever. And we were like, how the fuck? Like, how big is the Fortnite team?
Mm.
That's 20. What do you mean? But no, the reason that they're constantly going after live service is because not everyone, all the shareholders and billionaires believe that if you put out a live service game, then it will be Fortnite and it'll make $6 trillion. But there's only room for like six, maybe, of those games to be successful at any one given time. So unless
Hmm.
Fortnite dies, you may as well just stop making live service games because you're not going to win.
It's not gonna die. It has I was gonna say Billie Eilish in it. Is she in it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I think there's probably a bunch of Billie Eilish skins actually. I think she did a concert
Sh-
in there.
Shot in the dark, but we got there.
I mean, what's your favorite Billie Eilish song?
Um, she did the theme for No Time to Die, the James Bond movie.
Oh, he got me with the movie way. That son of a bitch. Oh yeah, what's your favorite Adele song?
uh, I'm trying not to say Skyfall.
Well, it was clearly what I was setting you up for.
Yeah, yeah, but I attempted to subvert expectations and then failed. So I belong in Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess so. Any day now. But yeah, obviously that sucks. Those people at Ubisoft got laid off. Ubisoft not in a great position right now. I believe I don't remember what the exact situation with Tencent was, but I do know that they're like in some way doing like a hostile takeover of Ubisoft in collaboration with the original owners of Ubisoft, the
Mm.
Guillemot family, not including the one who just died in a plane crash.
Oh my goodness.
Um, so yeah, it's not looking great for them, but I bet we get a bunch of Assassin's Creed games because those seem to be the only ones from Ubisoft making any amount of money anymore. So that's probably what they're going to entirely focus on and before they circle the drain the final time. Got a couple of stories coming at us from good old PlayStation.
Hmm.
We have a really funny story about Hiroki Totoki. So Hiroki Totoki is the president of PlayStation.
Hmm.
It used to be one of two. Him and Herman Holtz were sort of like holding co-presidency basically over PlayStation. But Herman Holtz has kind of gotten like light demoted. I don't know if he changed titles, but now he's basically just in charge of like the studios and the content, and Hiroki Totoki is in charge of the decisions and the money. He's
Mhm.
the money guy, is what everyone knows him as. So as we know, as we talked about last week, they announced that they are killing physical media, which has been a monumental shit show in every possible way. The internet is
Yeah.
destroying them left, right, and center. Their
Yeah,
stock
yeah,
has been
yeah.
dropping because of it. What we've come to find out is that he tried to do it before they announced it, apparently, because I guess it takes a while. But it didn't go through until afterwards. Is the president of PlayStation sold half of his shares of PlayStation right before they made the announcement. I guess to like
Mm.
low key kind of inside trade on his own company, which is I'm pretty sure illegal. Maybe
Mm.
not in Japan. Maybe he gets away with it over there, but yeah, he
Mm.
sold 225,000 shares of PlayStation. But because the stock dropped so significantly, he only made $4.7 million instead of however much he would have made instead, I guess.
Only 4.7 million. That's,
Honestly, for him, that's probably not even that much money. And he sold half of his ownership of the company. So it's probably a bad decision. But I remember seeing this is going to come up again later when we talk about the Xbox layoffs, which are terrible. IGN has been just on a fucking defense pattern of PlayStation lately. I don't know what the situation is or why they're doing that. When this got announced and everyone was like, is he like trying to get out of PlayStation? But like, is he killing this company? Everyone was like, he might be trying to, like, IGN literally put up an article that was like, he might be trying to sell his shares of PlayStation, but if Xbox tried to sell, would anyone even be willing to buy them? And it was like, brother, hey, brother, no one asked.
that's 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 embarrassing.
It's IGN and PlayStation and Xbox and about 100 other people have been getting lit the fuck up online this week, and I've been pro all of it, frankly.
Hmm.
So it's been a good week for people getting yelled at, and not much else. Speaking of weird PlayStation decisions, did you remember the fighting game Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the
I
Japanese?
I do remember this. It is
Uh,
it's new. It's out. Is it out? Is it
I
happening?
actually don't know if it's out. I don't think so. I think it does come out soon though. Either way, if it is out, it's not out in 132 countries, because
That's right.
Sony is forcing, as they do with all of their multiplayer titles and really all of their online services, that you have to have a PSN account in order to play the game.
It's
And
not out.
okay,
Its release date worldwide is August 6th.
okay, so pretty
But if
soon
you
though.
live in if you live in Japan, you have to wait till the next day, which their day will happen first, so it'll be the same day.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so it's you have to be able to have a PSN account or PS Plus, whatever the fuck it is, to play this game, which is not offered. You cannot buy it in 132 countries out of a total 195 countries on the planet. So
Ooh.
there's like 60 countries that you can buy digital PlayStation things, and yet they want that to be the only way that you can buy their things. Isn't that weird?
Hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, there's a secret clause in FIFA. The winner of the World Cup unlocks the ability to buy PlayStation games digitally.
Who's still in that is probably not part of that 60? Morocco could get it.
No, they lost.
Ah,
They're
fuck.
out.
Well,
Um,
who's still in?
s- uh,
Norway's probably already got it.
Spain,
Spain's definitely already got it.
Argentina.
Questionable, but
It
probably.
is questionable. I don't know. The important bit, the end of my joke that I was doing, that is real, is I said the winner gets to unlock the ability to buy, not to play.
Oh, okay, that makes
That's
sense.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just thought it was really funny because all the articles were like it's blocked in 132 countries, and I was like, how many countries are there? Because I was thinking there's like 200 some odd. I was like, yeah, oh no, it's even less. 195 recognized nations.
Hmm.
Okay. So just what is that? Like 80% of the planet just can't buy your shit? What's that business practice? Whose idea was that?
I guess they just target the what you would assume vastly populated countries.
Probably. Yeah. Or the ones that are presumed to have the most money, more
Mm,
likely.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Here are some updates on the death of physical media vis-a-vis PlayStation. There's been a
Nice.
couple of little tidbits that have come out after the fact that I think are worth knowing, and many of them very funny. So first up, someone was coming through the TOS trying to figure out how game licenses work for PlayStation.
Okay.
Um, and they found out that all the things we already knew, which is you don't actually own anything, they can take it away from you at any time. It basically says that in
Yeah.
the TOS. One thing
Nice.
people didn't know is, and I don't know how often this would come up, but if you don't log into the internet on your PlayStation for 3 years, then your entire library gets wiped, deleted, just gets Control
Okay.
Alt Delete by.
Okay.
Which is also is already really funny because so if you have PS Plus, because you have to have PS Plus to have cloud saves,
Uh-huh.
and if you don't log into that for 1 year, they already wipe all of your saves. So it's just like every year they're just that you don't log into PlayStation, that you don't remain loyal to PlayStation, they will just take more of your shit away. I don't know how often realistically people aren't going to be logging in for 3 years, unless like PlayStation 6 has a different storefront and so that doesn't count or something. That seems unlikely at this point. I figure it'd probably be the same store because I don't think the system will be largely different in any way that would make that make sense. Granted, they're making a lot of decisions that don't make sense, so anything is possible, I guess. But it is really the only situation I can think of is if you were to be incarcerated or potentially deployed. I don't know how long deployments are or what your ability to access your PlayStation account during that time is, but definitely, yeah. So you go to jail for 15 years for a felony one, and you get back and they've just Control Alt deleted $5,000 worth of games out of your account.
Huh.
So that's cool. That's a cool and fun thing that they can just do, I
Well,
guess.
I mean, don't commit the felony. But
Well, sure, but
no, but you're right. It's the fact that they have a built-in system that's like we can and will take away everything you bought. It's just like why?
there's a
Why does
yeah,
that need to be a thing? I
there's a
bought
ticking
it.
clock. Yeah, well, and even then, like obviously, as we already talked about last week, they can just take it away whenever they want, or whenever some deal falls through, they can just be like, "Oh, sorry, that's gone now. Actually, you didn't buy that. Hey, are we gonna get a refund for that? No. Why would you get a refund for that?
No, no, because you bought it.
No,
Well,
you.
then why?
Pretty cool." Here's another little fun thing. So if you remember, we didn't read the PlayStation like press release like verbatim on the
Mhm.
channel, but one of the things that they talked about in it was that they were switching to digital to follow customer trends, how customers are buying way more digital games than physical games, which they have maintained, and a lot of people in the industry maintain are true. We already knew, and we talked about last week, how those numbers are wildly inflated, and we didn't know the breakdown on how inflated. But because they would never say, like, oh, this game sold however much percent digital and this percent physical. They would always say,
Yeah, of
game
course.
sales this year have been 80% digital. And that's because, as we talked about last week, any live service game that doesn't have a free to play situation, actually, any purchase in a live service game counts as a digital purchase. And so that's a secondary thing. So if you download Fortnite, that's one. And if you buy a skin, that's a second one. Because they weren't doing it like by cost, they were doing it just by transaction. And then also, anything you download from PS Plus, so any of their online catalog, as well as any
Mhm.
DLC, all counted against it. So all of these things were like just skewing the numbers because intentionally so, because the thing, as Jason Schreier reported on, the reason that they want to do this is because they don't want to pay stores the cut for having their shit in their store, right? Because
Yeah.
if you sell through Best Buy, GameStop, whoever, that store takes a cut of the sale because they're selling it. I think it's 30% or whatever. And so they don't want to do that. They want to continue to have it just on their one storefront where they can monopolize it and completely control the pricing over it, which is illegal. But when has
Hmm.
that ever stopped anybody? So that's why they want to cut the stores out. And so they've been fluffing these numbers. In response, people have gone back through that Insomniac leak from last year, the year before, whatever it was, about how, where the one where they were like, yeah, we've basically dedicated Insomniac to just make Marvel games for the rest of their lives. You'll never get a Ratchet and Clank again. Get fucked. Also included breakdowns of physical versus digital sales from around the time of the launch of the PS5. Now, we don't know So all the games that were on it were ones that were like close to that launch period. So we don't. It is, I guess, technically possible that in the following 3 years that the numbers have changed dramatically, but it seems pretty unlikely because they've already been saying it since before the end of the PS4 generation. So I don't know that. Anyway, so we did get some percentages of how that breakdown for first party PlayStation games, and it's really fucking funny.
Mm.
So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was shortly after launch, 76% of its sales were physical.
That's a big chunk of the pie.
The Demon Souls remake, which was, I believe, a launch title, 70% was physical. Sackboy's Great Adventure, also a launch title, 77%. Miles Morales, 66%. Returnal, 61%. There was a list of like 15 or 20 games, and none of them fell below 50% physical sales. Not a single one. So that's just a fun little thing. It's just like, if you have a physical version of the game, it will sell just as well and usually better than its digital counterpart. And the situation of these people telling you that digital is taking over is just flat out a lie. And PlayStation knows it and has it in their official internal documents.
Because people still, to this day, go to stores to buy things.
It's crazy. Who would have thought? You'd never believe it. But people buy things and then they want to own those things. And they're already used to buying certain things in a certain way. And especially, I imagine, an older generation. Maybe Gen Z buys more digital, although apparently they have been skewing very physical lately. I don't know if you've seen, they're bringing back fucking cassette tapes for Gen Z. This is a real thing. This is not a lie.
Sure.
I shit thee nay. So Gen Z is like, for some reason, skewing very physical in a way that I was not expecting.
Please do it.
But it's also like, because you have to, like, the biggest singular time period for game sales has always been the holiday, and you're not buying a fucking code to put under the goddamn Christmas tree. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how that works. Like, if I put a game on my Christmas list, my family is gonna buy a box of it. They're not gonna like, oh, I logged into PlayStation and bought it for you and gifted it to your account, because A, you can't even do that on PlayStation, and B, no one in my family would know how to do that. They'd have to, like, Chelsea could talk to her husband about it and he could probably do it, but like, that's also so unexciting, because then when do you do it? Because I'll get an email or whatever that's like, you now have Assassin's Creed Shadows or whatever the fuck. That's something I got last year for Christmas. Instead of like unwrapping the present and getting to like have that whole interaction of like, I bought you this because I love you or whatever. Instead, it's like, here's an email, I got you a thing because I felt financially obligated to get you a Christmas present. Like, that's how it feels. That's how different that feels. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, take away how it feels from you receiving it side, right? Like, if kids, teenagers, whatever, if there is no physical way to do it, and everything you just said is true, it's how it works, kids aren't going to ask for the games for Christmas.
No.
Because Christmas is not going to change. Or holiday gift giving of any kind is not going to change. So they're, I guess you're like, I want to buy this game for my birthday, and then dad has to go onto your thing and put in the code and you watch it happen and you're like, there, I bought it, happy birthday.
Right. Like,
that can happen.
Does it just turn into you just start buying people like PlayStation gift cards? Is that the Christmas future?
I guess. Is that what PlayStation wants? They still get the money.
I guess. I don't know, because if you buy a gift card from like a Best Buy, does Best Buy take a cut of the gift card? Because I feel like they should.
It has to, yeah.
So you didn't save anything there. Also, PlayStation came out, and I don't know how official this was. I didn't find the official thing myself, but people have been reporting it in a lot of ways, which again, and we'll get to this in the Xbox thing, a lot of people have been reporting a lot of things that are just patently untrue. But people have been saying that moving forward, they said that they would stop disc production, but they didn't say that they would stop physical production. And so they're like, we're going to continue to like put them in stores, but it's just going to be like Grand Theft Auto, it's just going to be the box with a code in it. And I'm like, that's actually worse, because now the company's not even making that extra 30%, because you still have to sell the fucking box through a GameStop or whatever. You're still printing the disc, you're still making the box. Like, you're not saving any money, or very little money, I guess, because you don't have to print the disc. That's true. But like, you're not saving much money doing that. Like, that's actually somehow stupider than just completely cutting out physical altogether to sell an empty
Mhm.
plastic box. Like, that's offensive to me.
At the end of the day, taking away the disc is just like, we've moved one step closer to we can delete the game and make them buy it again. Like that's really is there any other reason?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's really not. Because I would hazard to guess the thing that I see happening, because I feel like we've seen this in movies to some degree,
Uh-huh.
is if they remaster or remake a thing, they could just delete the original one and force you to buy the new version. They could just do that at any point. Or be like, hey, this thing that would normally have, because PlayStation's already been doing this thing that would normally be a free upgrade, like when we from the transition from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, they would force you to
Mhm.
pay an upgrade fee when everyone else through the all of history, if the game was playable on the new system, it would just get the upgrade because that's how it works. Like you play it on. Paid $600 now, probably $1,600 dollars for this new fucking machine. The least you can do is give me an update on this game. If you're
Mhm.
making it anyway, the least you can do is give it to me. I already bought the game and the console. I did my fucking part.
Mm, no, pay again.
I had a full like hour long debate yesterday with people online on a different podcast that either way
That
where
sounds taxing to your health.
it was to my mental health if nothing else, where they were really heavily trying to defend the switch to digital, because they're people who haven't bought physical games in a long time because they're whatever reason, laziness, I assume. And one of the things they kept bringing up was like, having physical media is not the only way to defend your rights. Like, we should get digital media rights. And I'm like, I agree, we should get that.
Dude,
There's no
but
reason. There's no reason we can't have
play,
both. First of all,
play, PlayStation isn't
they're
pitching you digital
they're not
media
giving you
rights.
that.
They're pitching you the digital media without the rights, and
Yeah,
you're gobbling it up.
I get your money. You get nothing. Trade.
Nothing.
Like, and when I brought up the argument of like, okay, first of all, you can have both, and second of all, can we at least keep physical until those rights exist? Because we're sure shit not going to get those put through legally in America, at least until 2028 at the absolute minimum, and probably not for a long time after that even. So like, can we at least keep physical media until we have a different solution? And they were like, oh, there's no point, there's no reason to do that. I was like, what do you, for what, like, what does this get you? As far as I can tell, nothing. I think there are zero benefits of buying a digital thing over a physical thing. And people would always say like, oh, but if you buy the like, they always want to bring up like, oh, well, the physical, because you can play physical without online. That's a benefit of having physical games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't play a digital game if you're not online, right? Because you have to download it.
Mm-hmm.
You can install from the disc. There's people who will tell you, oh, you can't install the game entirely from the disc. You have to download it. That's completely not true. There's entire YouTube channels dedicated to figuring out which games that's not true for, and it's been an extremely low number of games.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people who are defending digital will instead pivot to, oh, but you need the day one patch or it won't run as good. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, now you're giving these companies excuses for putting out unfinished products that do not work and then waiting for the day one patch that usually doesn't even fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Or in some cases makes it worse based on what people who review the games have been saying, because they obviously play it before the day one patch. So no, the benefit of having digital is the devs don't have to finish the game before you buy it, and people who have data caps or can't get online or live in 132 PlayStation like blocked countries just can't play the game, and that for you,
Mm-hmm.
that's a benefit. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone brought up, and I didn't get the chance to go back at them at it because it had become chaos in the debate at that point. But they were like, "Oh, but it's so much easier to share digital games because which is crazy, first of all. But because some game things let you have like a family plan where you can bring in your friends and pretend they're your family." And I'm like, you know what else is easy? Handing them a fucking disc. You know what else is really easy is I'm over at my friend's house. Hey, you should play this. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, oh, I have to add you to my family plan. Oh, oh, you're limited to a certain number. I'm sure certain companies like don't let you swap them out very easily because then you could just share it with anybody. I'm guarantee that they're not letting you do that.
There's
what if I just handed you a box?
there's really only one benefit to buying something digitally that I can genuinely think of, and
Not going
that
to a store.
is well, no, it's availability,
Oh, sure.
right? If you go to GameStop and they're like, "Sorry, we don't have WWE 2K, fuck you,
An older one, like 23 or
we're
something.
sure, whatever, we don't have it." It's like, ah, damn. You go to Best Buy. Sorry, we don't sell anything. Ah, damn. All
We
right.
don't want money.
You go to Target, and Target is just a whole bunch of like Neanderthal people like punching at each other and trying to create fire. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Target, because of for people who don't know, Target, because of Pokemon largely, but because of TCG scalpers, has turned into a PvP active zone. People are just
Yeah, you
fully boxing in the front of goddamn Targets.
can't go to Target no more. So it's like, okay, well, I just drove around town and nobody has this game that I want. I could buy it online.
Yeah. You
All
buy
right,
like
fine.
Amazon or whatever, like GameStop can order
Like
it and
the
ship it to you, but yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
So
well,
it's the
even if
immediacy.
you're yeah, the like I need to buy this, I could just play it and download it right now. All right, fine.
Yeah.
So that's the only actual benefit. And it is a benefit,
Yeah.
but it's it's not worth forfeiting your rights to actually own the game you just paid
True.
for.
True. I like damn near refuse to buy digital games unless there is not a physical version and I still really want to play it. Like
Mm.
it's one of those things where like I am significantly more likely to play a game that I want to play if I can buy a physical version of it. If it's
Mm.
digital, then I have to weigh like it just becomes that like that one extra piece where I'm like, do I want to do that? Like, do I want to give them all this extra money to not own this thing? So it has to
Mm.
be like a really special game. The one that comes to mind is Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 launched without a physical edition and then it ended up having one later because it was really popular and people were asking
Yeah.
for it. So I bought it digital at launch because I fucking love that studio, Remedy. I think that they're one of the most talented studios in the industry. Either way, so I bought it digitally, but then when it came out physically, I bought it again physically because it's a really good game and I want to own it. I want to actually physically own the thing and have it not be able to take it away from me. So maybe I'm crazy, but also 76% of people who bought Ratchet and Clank bought that bitch physical. So am I? But am I crazy though?
You are crazy, but not about this.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'm definitely crazy about other things. Anyway, I don't know. It's the number of people defending the switch to digital is very low, but those people are also very loud. And I think it's because they're the same people who typically play on PC. And PC Master Race people are fucking insufferable. Not just people who play on PC, because a lot of people play on PC and are totally fine. But if you're part of that, like PC Master Race, like I'm posting the fucking Ben Yahtzee Croshaw fucking image of the guy with the hair everywhere. That's my fucking PFP, then you're a problem.
I don't know what anything you just said means. You start speaking another language.
The audience also doesn't, but maybe one or two of them do. And those ones,
Okay.
having a good time.
Okay.
Let's talk about the worst news of the week,
Uh-oh.
which is the Xbox news.
Uh-oh. We knew it. We knew it was only a matter of time.
It was only a matter of time.
We finally got you.
We got your ass.
We're putting you in the shame corner. But we have
Yeah.
to put you in the third shame corner because the first two are already full.
Yeah. Nintendo, Capcom, and Sega get to hang out in the good boy corner, and everyone else can
Yeah.
get fucked in the other three.
Yeah. We have 70 corners.
There are
Because
some.
we need a lot of corners.
We're in a septecahedron. What the fuck? Dodecahedron is 20. So sep would be like 70? Is that right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't fucking know, man.
You think I know shapes?
Shit, man, I guess. Anyway, where do I even start with this? It's really bad. There are aspects of it that are interesting, and we'll get into that later. The most important takeaway here is 3,200 people will be leaving Xbox, which is a fucking crazy number. Not all those people are getting laid off. There are some studios that are being spun off or sold off. So that number, I think, ends up being like what is it, 2700, which is still fucking insane and really, really bad. This is, it's not the worst, somehow, it's not the worst layoffs in video game history, but it's pretty fucking close. And it's a goddamn, it's genuinely a shit show. It's really, really bad. They're breaking it up into two different sections where it's 1600 in the first section, and then whatever is like, because the people who are like the studios who are leaving are going to be included in the second 1600. So whatever percent, whatever number of those is not included in those studios is coming throughout the rest of the year. Because I imagine there's a lot of paperwork involved in like spinning these studios off. So maybe that takes more time. I don't fucking know, man. I've never fired 3,200 people, so I don't really know how that works. I fired one person.
Someday. Yeah, that guy had it coming though.
They do had it fucking coming. But okay, but let's get back to the bad, the real bad, the current bad. This is obviously terrible. It's basically a bloodbath. It's so many people from a lot of studios. We don't know, how many people are going to be able to even find jobs in the game space, or will even want to find jobs in the game space at this fucking point. And so it's also this, it's not just like, oh, they're not going to find their jobs, or like they're going to lose their jobs and not be able to pay for food for their kids or whatever, which is obviously fucking absolutely abysmal. But also from a technological standpoint, a lot of these people will leave the industry, and that knowledge that they have built up over the many, many years that they've worked in it will just go with them. There's a specific word for it, but I don't remember it right now. It's like something bleed, maybe knowledge bleed. Anyway, it's like a real, like, studied fact of mass layoffs, which unfortunately, because of the way the economy is going, is happening in a lot of fucking tech industry right now, which is a shit show, and is also going to make it even harder for these people to go and find jobs other places, because, like, where are we going to go? Cybersecurity? They're laying motherfuckers off too. Great, cool. So it's terrible. Some of the groups that have been targeted the most as part of this are contract workers, which is not surprising. I feel like that's a pretty common target for layoffs. And also we did kind of think that was going to be the case going into it, because they had said a couple years ago that they wanted to move away from contract workers, and we had hoped, but knew it wouldn't be, that meant that they were going to offer some of those people full-time positions. Obviously, this is corporate America, so that wasn't going to happen. They laid them off instead. It was also a lot of remote workers. So it was some people who were overseas, but mostly people who just lived in different states. Almost all Xbox studios are American. So this does very heavily impact specifically the American job market. Which I don't know why that became a thing. It was like a talking point for a minute there, where people were like, "Oh, they're trying to outsource everything to different countries," and it's like, I guess because Asha's brown. It's very much not true. And then they came out and said specifically that it wasn't true after the fact. So I don't know why that became a thing, but just throwing that out there, it's not. And then weirdly, the third, like, biggest chunk of people laid off is people from middle management positions, which is going to be a bad thing for that, like, knowledge bleed that I was talking about. They described it. Asha put out this whole long fucking form tweet, like press release basically, sort of explaining it. And I think she did as good of a job as you can do when laying off 3,200 people, by which I mean go fuck yourself. In it, she mentioned that Xbox somehow had gotten to a point where there were like 14 levels of management at some of these studios, or like between the studios and the platform team, that everything had to go through, like every decision had to go through, and that was causing everything to just get completely fucked and waylaid. And so a big chunk of that middle management has been laid off, which is still terrible because it's people, but at least I look at that and I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know how the fuck it got to that position, and I'm frankly pissed off that the solution was lay those people off. But like, I guess I can understand. She said specifically that they wanted to cut it down to 5 layers and, where possible, 3 of management, which is what I would have assumed it was already. So I guess I don't know how probably it got that way because they grew so much through acquisition. And so it was like, oh, well, this studio we bought already had, their 3 levels of management or whatever. And then we got to put that under the Xbox management, which then goes under the Microsoft management, or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
So then we put you, like, we kind of like stack all these levels on top of each other, and then we promote from now within.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, now you oversee all of this. and then you just kind of like it just folds into
Yeah,
14 fucking
14
rungs on
levels
this
of
ladder.
14 levels of management is fucking untenable. I don't know how they got to that position. I again, I understand that like you needed to cut that out. Layoffs. There's no part. I want to make this perfectly clear. There's a couple of things that are part of this layoff that I look at and I'm like, that's unheard of. And in some ways, some of the things are actually like kind of good. We'll get to that. I know that sounds crazy. Like there are some silver linings on this that are really interesting and definitely worth talking about. I don't want it to be lost at any point that this is fucking terrible. Like
Yeah,
3,000 roughly people are going to are have lost or are going to lose their jobs in the next 12 months.
yeah,
It's an absolute fucking shit show. It's a goddamn embarrassment that Xbox ever got into the state that they
yeah.
felt the need to do this. This is also the
You
third
don't
year in a row that they've had huge fucking layoffs like this. This is the worst of
you
the
don't
three, but still,
you don't get to 14 different levels of management without just dog shit business practice in the first place.
it's fucking terrible. And I have seen people attacking Asha for it specifically, and I am like, she's the one laying them off. So yeah, I mean, absolutely fucking light her up online for sure. The decisions
Sure.
that led to the position that Xbox is in were not her decisions. So it's like,
Mm,
I don't know. I guess like half of the blame is hers because she's the one doing it. But it's all a fucking complicated moral gray space, I guess, as far as that's concerned. But like very specifically, you're never gonna catch me online like telling people like going like people like telling off Xbox right now. You're not gonna catch me being like, oh well, actually, this studio didn't get clear. What like I'm not gonna fucking do that. Because
mm,
they like no company should be able to lay off any number of people, let alone 3 fucking thousand, and not get lit the fuck up. Like
mm.
absolutely, they need to be told off on every platform. I don't want them to be able to turn on their fucking phone without someone telling them to go fuck themselves. Um, don't go crazy. I don't want to see any fucking bomb threats or death threats, which I'm sure they've already gotten. Um,
Mm.
but like absolutely light them the fuck up. Like that needs to happen. I posted some shit lighting them up about it. So like at no point do I want it to be lost when we're talking about some of the other parts of this conversation that like this is fucking atrocious and embarrassing. However, there is some interesting things that have come out of this. Namely, two studios have not been even sold off. They've just been allowed to go independent again. So no layoffs at those studios. That's Double Fine, the Tim Schafer joint that does like Psychonauts and Brutal Legend and most recently Kiln, as
Mhm.
well as the South of Midnight studio, Compulsion Games. They are both just fully independent. They're going to be able to make their own things. And what's even cooler than just they didn't get shut off, there were no layoffs, they're just becoming their own company again, is Xbox is actually giving them a runway, a financial runway to work on their next project so that it's not just like all right have fun but like they don't have any money and so they're fucked anyway. They're
Mhm.
actually giving them money to make their next game and also have allowed them to keep all of their IP, which is actually unfucking heard of. When we see shutdowns like this, I don't think it has ever occurred that the studios keep their IP because that's the thing. Like it's the Smiling Friends thing of like no, that's my IP to sit on and do nothing with. it's
Yeah.
it's actually insane. Tim Schafer, I can almost like I can kind of get it because he's such a huge legend in the game space that like I can kind of understand them wanting to not go through
It
the PR nightmare of fucking him over in any way. But the fact that
part
they
of
let
me
Compulsion keep South of Midnight is crazy and like really
Yeah,
nice actually.
that's big. That's big. When it comes to Tim Schafer, part of me assumes like when Double Fine joined on board Microsoft in the first place, he would have had groundwork be like, okay, but it's all still mine.
Yeah,
Like
I'm gonna buy it
you,
back.
you this is all this all has my name on it. So if anything happens
Yeah,
and if we part ways, it's coming with me.
right,
So that I want to say that has to be the case. But with South of Midnight,
right, right.
that wouldn't have held the same like sway that a name like Tim Schafer would. So
Absolutely not. Yeah, well, because South of Midnight was their first game that was even like remotely popular. They did We Happy Few
mm,
before, which was like people knew about it. It was a game that was like sort of in the conversation, but it wasn't. It didn't take off. And then before that, they did one called Contrast, I think, which like nobody fucking knows about. So they're not like a huge studio or anything. South of Midnight, really, the first one that took off, and even that was like pretty middling in reviews. They won a Peabody Award, which is awesome. But
mm,
otherwise, like, kind of went under the radar for most people. And I was frankly really relieved to see that the studio was being let go, especially Double Fine, because Double Fine always felt like a really weird thing to be underneath Xbox. Of like,
Yeah.
I just can't imagine Tim Schafer answering to a corporate overlord. Like, it just doesn't. It never
No.
made sense to me. But the idea that now, despite like that, they're just free. So like going into this, I was very pessimistic about how these layoffs were going to go, and they were fucking terrible. But I was convinced we were going to get studio closures, and the fact that we have 0 studio closures is really a really nice silver lining. Like the fact that there could potentially still be a South of Midnight 2, that there could potentially still be a Psychonauts 3 or a Brutal Legend 2 or whatever. Like, which they'll probably have to, whatever Double Fine makes next, it can't be a keeper. It can't be a kiln. It has to be, it has to be something big, because now they have to pay all their own bills again. So,
A little bit,
so it's
a bit
probably going to be something
more
bigger.
like on the scale of a Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a sequel, although I bet lots of people would like that.
I would love that. That'd be my favorite thing in the world. And Jack Black, still very close friends with Tim Schafer, so we're in the bag there.
But can you license all that music right now?
Maybe. They did it before when they were independent. I don't know if it's more expensive now.
That's true.
Or significantly more expensive now.
I don't know what their wallet's like at all this.
Yeah, that's fair. And I also think like probably Double Fine in particular will have no problem finding a publisher for their next thing. Compulsion might have a slightly harder chance. But I do think, because we saw a similar thing happen with Toys for Bob, where they got let go instead of let go independent instead of shut down shortly after the Activision acquisition. But they didn't have any IP to take with them, because they had been working on like basically support work for Call of Duty since they were acquired by Activision. So they didn't give them any IP, so we didn't really think about that as even really an option. But they're still working alongside Xbox in a second party relationship. They're working on that Spyro game, and they've actually said this week that they want to work on a Banjo game if someone will let them, which I do think probably someone should let them. So I say that to say, I think the studios that were let go or sold off, the other 2 that we're going to talk about were sold off. I think there's a pretty solid chance that they're still going to be published under Xbox, but they'll just Xbox won't be paying their mortgage and their bills, you know what I mean? And so they can save that money for the fucking bean counters and on Wall Street or whatever the fuck. But yeah, so I'm thrilled that those 2 studios are completely untouched. Those are 2 really, really good studios that I am desperate to see what their next project is. So that's really cool. The other 2 studios that were that are leaving Xbox but not going independent are Ninja Theory and Undead Labs. Ninja Theory is best known for the Hellblade series, the Senua's Saga series, whatever. And Undead Labs has only ever made the State of Decay games, which the first one was a cult hit and the second one was pretty much a failure. So I guess we'll see what happens with the third one. But somebody apparently has bought that studio, which honestly was one of the ones I was most convinced was probably going to get shut down based on the rumors I was hearing. So I'm really glad that didn't happen. And then with Ninja Theory, I didn't really think there was any chance that they were going to get shut down. Them getting sold off makes a lot of sense. I don't think it was probably even difficult to find a buyer for them. They're not super profitable, but their tech know-how is unmatched. Like their sound design and motion capture is some of the best in the industry. There are likely, we don't know who bought these studios, by the way, yet. They haven't technically been bought yet. But I'm sure there was no shortage of people willing to buy Ninja Theory. No doubt. It also makes it feel a little bit less fucking ridiculous that they showed off new games from both of these teams at their showcase in a couple weeks before these rumors started coming out, because it was probably them being like, hey, here's their next project. Does anyone want to buy this? So they were still advertising the game, but just not to the buyers we thought they were.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like I said, it's really cool that these teams are not just being let go, but all 4 of them are keeping their IP. All 4 of them are getting runways for their next projects. All 4 of them are continuing to have funding for any existing projects, are still being funded fully by Xbox. So like Senua, which just got announced, is still going to be fully funded by Xbox. State of Decay 3 is still going to be fully funded by Xbox. It's probably the best way that this could have gone for those 4 studios, like almost without doubt. I actually think Double Fine is better off now than they ever were under Xbox, frankly. Um, so that's pretty good. There's a fifth studio that's still in conversation. It's a French studio called Arcane Lyon. They're currently working on that Blade game. So I do think that they will keep them around at least until that comes out. The rumor is that they will also be sold and likely already have a potential buyer, but because French law is very specific, they have to go through a lot of fucking layers of how to go through it. But based on what people closer to the subject have told me, it seems like they will also be sold to some new person. So they likely will not see specific layoffs, but will be leaving Xbox. Another thing that she made really clear in her statement, Asha, was that there are not any canceled of the projects that were announced. There are no canceled projects. Every game that has been announced is still going to come out. Some of them will likely be delayed. So but we'll see. We do know of one game that was originally being said was canceled, but now further investigation has claimed maybe not so much. But over at Obsidian had roughly 25% of their studio laid off, which is fucking insane. I think that was a really bad decision. I think Obsidian has proven themselves multiple times to be able to handle themselves really well. They've always handled their budgets extremely well and their timelines extremely well. I don't think they've ever shipped a thing late in their entire fucking history. They are an incredibly capable team. So I'm not really sure why they were hit so hard, like uncharacteristically hard. Every other studio affected except id, who we'll talk about in a second, was significantly way less hit. So I don't know why the fuck Obsidian caught that blow. But they were apparently working on a sequel to Avowed that was originally being reported as having been canceled, so that they could instead make a sequel to, not a sequel, but a new Fallout game under Josh Sawyer, who is the guy who did, as we all know, Icewind Dale.
That's the report that I saw. Yeah.
Right. He's the new Vegas guy. It's just we played Icewind Dale on.
Yes,
on
yeah.
Yeah. I need to get it out there for the audience.
I
knew you knew.
That's a cheeky little joke for anyone paying attention.
That's a cheeky little reference for whatever we're going to end up calling our fans at some point. The players, that's not good. That's bad. We're not going to do that one. No. So someone in the leave a comment about what we can call our fan base. Anyway, it turns out upon further investigation by Jason Schreier, who is one of the only people reporting on video games who I think comes out the other side of this shit show clean, in my opinion, because he's been doing a really fucking good job reporting on this. He said Josh Sawyer was already working on a game that had been pitched as a Fallout game, and then because Bethesda, probably Todd Howard, didn't want anyone else making a Fallout game, they were told no. And so they retooled it into being something that was just basically, like, in the same way Avowed is basically Elder Scrolls, this was going to be basically Fallout. And so now they're just like, actually just make that Fallout. Because Asha doesn't give a fuck what Todd says about it, in the same way that I guess Phil did. And I think that that's the right decision, frankly. I think the idea that they didn't have a second studio already working on a Fallout game is it's just another huge example of mismanagement, especially if you've got Josh fucking Sawyer, one of the biggest, most acclaimed names in RPGs in the industry today, saying, hey, I've got an idea to make you millions of dollars off of one of your most famous franchises that currently has an Emmy-winning fucking show, and I can get it out before the show is done. Like, and you said no because Todd had a cool jacket and said no? Look, I love Todd Howard. I do. But the man's probably going to retire in the next couple of years here. He's up there. And secondly, like, Bethesda sold to Xbox because they were not doing well financially. They were not handling themselves from a managerial sense well at all. And frankly, not to get political, I don't know why the fuck Todd Howard gets a say in what happens with Fallout. He's not the guy who invented it. You know who is? Fergus fucking Urquhart over at Obsidian. He was the guy who made the first fucking two of them. Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody who should have stewardship of the franchise, it's probably him.
But Todd Howard's baby is the voice of the baby in Fallout 3.
That is very cute.
And his he's, you know what? I don't think he gets points for the jacket anymore. The jacket's starting to piss me off.
It's a nice jacket.
But he doesn't. What has he done to deserve the jacket?
He made Skyrim 5 times.
He made Skyrim 5 times, and he won't stop putting out Fallout 76 stuff.
Okay.
Give us something else.
He said the same thing about Fallout 76, basically, that he said about Skyrim, which is like, we'll stop making it when people stop buying it. And unfortunately, Fallout
It's not.
76 is really fucking popular. For some reason in Japan, by the way, I don't know if you've seen that. The Japanese community for Fallout 76 is fucking huge for literally no reason. It just happened.
It's because they're too polite to nuke each other.
Maybe so. But like when they had like a showcase of like, here's all of the best creations, and like 60% of them were fucking Japanese creators. I was like, wow, wait, what? But yeah, horrible mismanagement for Josh Sawyer, the guy who made New Vegas, a lot of people's favorite Fallout game, being like, I want to make a Fallout game, and they told his ass, no, are you stupid? Like what? That's that and the 14 levels of management thing are like, what the fuck was happening over there that they made these decisions?
You know what? Assuming that it was Todd, that's unfounded, right? That's just the word we're allegedly.
We know that it was that Bethesda didn't want other people working on it.
Yeah.
The assumption is that would mean Todd Howard. And I mean, it's a pretty safe assumption, to be fair, because the only other person who was on that level was Pete Hines, and he left like 2 years ago.
Even if it's an allegedly, I'm putting out the order. Take his fucking jacket.
Take his fucking jacket. Take the jacket. Leave the cannoli. That's a reference for nobody.
It's okay. We do that here.
So there's that. id Software was the other studio that was hit most hard so far. There's probably other studios that are going to get hit similarly hard, but we don't really know. id Software it was originally reported 50%. It is less than that. It's somewhere in the high 30s. It was being misreported originally because somebody who used to work there, or no, it was somebody who still works there, went to work after the layoffs and was like, it feels like half of the studio is gone. And then people wrote about 50%, and then it just people in games journalism never fact check anything, and so then it just, every step away from that original post it just became 50%, exactly 50%. You know what I mean? Instead of like, it feels like 50%, reportedly 50%, 50%, like, you know what I mean? And then at some fucking point, for some reason, people started saying 75%. I don't know where that fucking came from. Was never true. This one hits pretty close to home. I did work at id Software for like a month. So I do follow some of the people who I worked with there, and some of them did unfortunately get laid off as part of this, including, ironically, the hiring manager who brought me on. I did contract QA. So she got let go. So I don't know where she'll be going. I'm not like friends with her. I just saw that she posted that she had been let go. So that does suck. They had to, so what sucks even more about that is because it was so heavily misrepresented in the, like, how many people had been laid off. People were like, oh, id Software is dead. Like, they're gone. Like 75% of the studio got laid off. They're fucked. Like, they're a support studio now. And id Software had to come out and like defend the studio after already having like roughly 40% of their people laid off. Had to come out and be like, hey guys, like, we're just back down to the same size that we were when we put out Doom 2016. We're more than capable of continuing to make games, you know, blah, 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 all this, like this, that, and the third, to like appease people into being like, guys, we're not dead. Like, we got fucking hit and it sucks dick. And I would love for you to yell at my boss about it. However, we're not actually dead. I promise. I hate that. I hate that they had to put that post out there. From what I understand, the people who were laid off at id Software, from what I saw from the people that I follow and some of the news that has come out, it was a lot of the same things that we always expect. Is it was largely contract workers and remote workers, as well as their sort of secondary team. id Software had the Doom team, and then their secondary team that did things like Rage 2. It was the team that I was working for. And it seems like pretty much that entire team has been let go. So it seems like they're the Doom studio now exclusively, which they were kind of already, but now it's just like very cemented. That's what we're doing. That was another thing that they said as part of this, is like their internal studios are going to be focusing very heavily on a couple of their bigger franchises right now, which again is probably the right choice. If you're in a bad financial place, it's not a great time to be putting out another Keeper or whatever. You know what I mean? Another
Sure.
Pentiment or whatever. So I totally get that. But at the same time. And, it's easy for me to feel one kind of way about it when like I'm one of the world's biggest Fallout fans, and the result of it is I'm getting a Fallout game from Josh Sawyer again finally. So it's easier for me to feel some kind of way about it. It's not great. Like I love the crazy fun, just like we had a dream, we made a weird fucking game situations.
Yeah.
But the games industry is so fucked right now that I just really don't think that there's room for it. Like, and maybe that's my pessimism, but I think that that's probably the case, unfortunately. So yeah, it's there are some silver. It's a shit show. It's a ridiculous number of people laid off. There are a couple of silver linings that we have now covered. That some of the studios are fine, all the projects are fine, all the people who aren't actually paying attention to the industry will likely not even know that this happened, which is both good and bad, I guess. Like it feels like shit, but I guess it's something. I don't know, man. I had a really bad feeling about this because it was being reported beforehand, like, oh, it's gonna be this. All these studios are getting shut down. It's gonna be, people were saying between 5 and 10,000 people were gonna get let go. And so when I saw the actual numbers and the fact that no studios had been let go, my immediate reaction was like relief. And then I was like, 3,200 people are still losing. 28, whatever the fuck, 100 people are still losing their jobs. Like relief should not have been the feeling that I had, and I like genuinely felt bad that I like had that I was like not, that my reaction was like, oh, that's better than I thought it was going to be, instead of like, oh my fucking god, all these people just lost their jobs. And I don't know, I don't really know how to square that in myself.
I think that's just indicative of how bad the industry is.
It really is. Yeah. And I do want to lay some of the blame on how it was being reported beforehand, because some of the people reporting on it beforehand didn't fact check a single fucking thing and were just throwing out rampant fucking lies about nothing. Like, let me pull it up on my phone. I took fucking receipts after the fact about like what people were saying, and I just want to know like why they thought it was okay to say these things. Like, here we go. Over at The Verge, they like the week June 15th, Tom Warren and Jay Peters put out an article that says Xbox is closing down Hellblade creator Ninja Theory. But they didn't. Ninja Theory didn't even have a single fucking person laid off. They just got sold to a different publisher. So why did you post this article that says that? Why did you write that and then have all the people at Ninja Theory who didn't necessarily know the details of what was happening yet think that a solution had come, like a decision had been made, that they were all getting fired? Why did, because you know that they fucking see this. They work in the industry. Of course they saw this. So now you're adding all this fear and stress on top of an already dog shit situation because you couldn't bother to put like, here's the rumor, this might happen. You couldn't even soft blow it a little bit for like the sake of being accurate. Kotaku, Rebecca Valentine, Ethan Gotch wrote, Xbox is planning to shutter Peabody award-winning South of Midnight studio Compulsion Games. They weren't. They didn't. The studio's independent. They're better off than they've ever been. They have Xbox money, but nothing over them telling them what to do. Like, they're in a better place than they were before they were purchased. So why did we write this? IGN is probably the worst offender because they didn't even write are going to shut them down. They wrote Microsoft has shut down South of Midnight developer Compulsion Games. How do you write that, Wesley Ian Poole at IGN? How do you put that out? How do you have all the I don't know, 150 people or whatever that work in Compulsion Games read that? Because you're IGN, you're the source for video game news, even though I think a lot of people know that you're dog shit at this point. Read that at their studio and then call up their boss and be like, hey, do I still have a fucking job? And their boss has to be like, yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck they're smoking. Like what? Like it's already such a fucking bad situation, right? 3,000-ish people lost their job. The industry is in a dog shit place. We'll never know the full repercussions of this. We'll never know the people who lost their jobs, who are taking knowledge with them or ideas with them that could have turned into the next great game or solved a huge problem that would have fixed some other game that's going to end up launching broke as a result. Like, we'll never know. We'll never know the full, just how bad this dog shit fucking situation is. And that's not bad enough for you. You have to fucking make up more bullshit on top of this because you couldn't take the time to put rumor or whatever before your own article. It pissed me the fuck off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was really, really mad because I was reading these things beforehand, and then Jason Schreier again, he's coming out the other side of this smelling like fucking roses. And typically, I don't usually like the guy, but I gained a lot of fucking respect for him. One of his responses to the PlayStation going all digital thing was like, support your local library, just rent stuff from there. And I think that's fucking awesome. I think that's the coolest thing he could have possibly said. I like that guy in a way that I never thought I would right now, because he had to come out multiple times and be like, that's not true. No decisions have been made about if any studios are getting closed. This has not happened yet. There's been a lot of misinformation. Like, half of his fucking posts for the last 3 weeks have been, that's not true, or this is misinformation. He shouldn't have to do that, because these other journalists who get to vote on the fucking Game Awards should have the fucking decency to figure out whether or not the thing they're posting is actually true. And are we going to get an apology from Kotaku or IGN about like, oh, we made it up? No, of course fucking not. In fact, Rebecca Valentine, who wrote that article at Kotaku, she's attacking people online if they're like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. If you say, hey, it's cool that Double Fine didn't get shut down and went independent instead, she will attack you and be like, don't you know how terrible it is? Yeah, I fucking know how terrible it is. Everything's fucking dog shit. The world is on fire. Everyone's losing their fucking jobs. Everything sucks ass. I can't celebrate the one fucking silver lining because you wrote a dog shit article and you have to pretend that you weren't wrong. Fuck you, dude. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And then, of course, you know, there's the normal grifters who are like not journalists, and I don't hold them in the same regard, but like there were people who were posting fake bullshit and being like, I used to work at Obsidian and now I got laid off and now I'm going to have to put my dog down because I can't feed, like, just bullshit. And like, there was like a dozen people who posted bullshit like that and got caught and got fucking community noted out the ass about it. And I expect that from those people. I don't expect it from people who with a fucking journalism degree to just lie. Ridiculous.
Is there like a differentiation, an asterisk on that degree that says like, oh, games journalism?
Yeah, it fucking must at this point. Like,
because, you know, there's sports journalism.
That
right?
that motherfucker Greg Miller, who I up until recently have been a really big fan of, and I might go back to being a fan of if he just chills the fuck out for a little while. But he's been handling all this whole situation absolutely fucking terribly, and he's got the same journalism degree my sister has.
Oh, okay.
He went to Mizzou.
Oh,
a real ass journalism school, like a really like one of the best journalism schools, and he's doing the same bullshit.
His degree shouldn't have an asterisk on it.
No, it should be a full one.
Okay.
But he's still out here lying.
Specifically, games journalism has gotten rid of any accountability
fucking
for
apparently.
years. So like they've built this toxic little system where anybody can just say anything and nobody will call them on it.
At least I guess that would be the positive, is a lot of fucking people are calling him on it this week. So I at least we've got that, I guess. I don't know how much of it will matter because they're very insulated in their own, you know, sort of that core group of like the handful of publications that are now all owned by the same company, by the way. I don't know if anyone had caught on to that. IGN, Polygon, like all these fuckers are owned by the same company now. And they are basically the entire voting force for the Game Awards. So that system is, in my opinion, corrupt now too. But yeah, they're very insulated in that way. If they can just create this bubble around them of like pretending what the truth is, because the only people they're going to talk about are other games journalists who are in the same, like, you know what I mean? So they get to create this sort of truth bubble that is in a separate fucking reality from the one that we live in. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a fucking shit show, frankly. These layoffs are abysmal. They piss me the fuck off. There's a couple of things about them where I'm like, that's cool. I can't believe that they actually let these studios go without, you know, fucking them into the dirt. But at the end of the day, like, there's no silver lining that makes up for 3,000 people losing their jobs. There is absolutely nothing that anyone could, like, there's not a single fucking thing that they could have done to lay off this number of people and have it not feel like shit. So I guess they probably did the best they could, but fuck, man. Like, ugh. Just Minecraft damage noise. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. But hey, let us know in the comments down below on Spotify and YouTube what you thought of just the continuing spiral of the games industry into absolute dog shit bullshit town. Let me know who your most hated person in the games industry is right now. I'm genuinely curious. You can follow the show on Twitter at rsr_pod. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I did do I did give them my ID. At Daniel J McG, and I guess you can follow Skyler nowhere. Did you want to plug anything else or like recommend something?
You can follow me on Letterboxd, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, plug the GG.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So instead of Blue Sky or Twitter or fucking Instagram, any of that shit, don't worry about that. But if you want to hear what I have to say about movies that I'm seeing this year, of which I will do again eventually, you can follow me on Letterboxd at, I think it's just Skyler 8-bit. Yeah, Skyler 8-bit on Letterboxd. Or, we play games and then review them. You know that we do that here. We got an account on GG, which is an app just like Letterboxd, but for video games.
Yes, sir.
And that's Ready Set Replay on that one. So
go ahead and
Letterboxd and GG. Go ahead and check that out.
And let me tell you, with the death of physical media and the games industry in a fucking spiral, there has never been a better time to go back and play the retro backlog. Never in history. When they came out fresh, it wasn't as good an idea as it is today. So join me in falling into retro video games and buying a GameCube in the year of our Lord 2026. Anyway, guys, until next time, we'll see you around.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories